Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I'm going to be sharing with you these 3 cards. They feature a little bit of subtle colour in the way that we do stack the die cuts. So you can stack them in a different kind of ways to create various different looks. So to start with, I'm going to be using the Floral in and out border die, as well as some of the packs of gradient cardstock from Altenew. So I'm using the purples, the pinks and the tealy colours. So first off, I'm going to take this beautiful die and I'm going to be using each of the 4 colours from the gradient cardstock set. So this is the shades of purple, so I have each of the 4 colours from there. I also have the Seashore collection. Now this is my favourite, and also the rose petal as well, the cherry blossom, sorry, as well. So I'm going to be using this die here. Now it has 2 different edges. One's that's going to cut the edge of the flowers, and then the other edge on the side of that little line is going to cut the flowers into the cardstock. So it's kind of in and out, as the name suggests. I'm going to be using my little plate for my mini blossom. Reason being, this is a detailed die, so I'm going to want that little bit of extra pressure to do this. I do overset this a little bit so it goes through easily. Also, if your little metal plate does bend a little, all you need to do is just bend it back into shape and then it's good to go again. So I'm going to do each of these little panels that I have, so 4 of each colour, and I'm just going to cut the same die from each of them. I love die cutting, it's really easy to do and it gives a great effect. So here are all the panels all ready and cut. I'm then going to cut the same die into my panels of cardstock, which are going to go on the front of the card bases. So these are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this time I want to cut the little die in the place where I want it to be on my card base. So this one I'm cutting to the side. I'm then taking another one and I'm going to cut this diagonally, and again I'm just popping that into place. As you can see, I am using a little bit of washi tape just to keep it in place so it doesn't move around while I cut it. And for this one, I'm just going to add this to the bottom nice and straight. I am using the grid lines on my cutting mat to get that nice and straight, and then popping the tape down that way. So once I've done that, I'm going to get rid of all of the inside bits from this die cut, and you can see just how pretty they are, and I love how they stay within the paper as well. So for the ones that we cut from the gradient cardstock, it's a little bit too short to cut from either end because it is 5 1/2 inches. So I'm just going to snip those so the panels are free there. I'm now ready to put my pieces together. So for this one where we have the die cut on the bottom, I'm going to overlap the pieces so the pink is peeking out from the bottom. Once I have one piece in place, I'm then going to move on and just do exactly the same for the others. So I'm overlapping it, kind of offsetting it, so all of the pink is going to come forward a little bit more from the others. So it's a really great technique. It adds a little bit of subtle colour, but you do have that pop of colour there. And as you can see, I only added adhesive to the top, so that means all these pieces are free and moving. So for this one, I'm going to offset the piece so it goes upwards. So this is going to add a little bit more of a subtle colour to your piece because the colours are going inwards rather than poking out the bottom. But you can still see all those colours of the cardstock that we have there, but very slightly. You can see that you have a subtle difference in those 2 there. So one's going to the bottom and one's going to the top. This one I'm going to stack so it's perfectly aligned with all of the colours. So I'm just going to add these one at a time and get rid of the overhanging pieces just so it's easier to cut. You could cut them all at once if you wanted to. So there we have it. And this one I'm just going to feather out a little bit so you can see that all these pieces are free moving. So you can add a little bit more colour just by fluffing these up at the edges a little. So these panels are now ready to add a little bit of foam tape to. Now I'm adding some thicker foam tape to the bit that hasn't got the cardstock panels on, and then some thin foam tape to the ones that do, because that all the panels of cardstock do add a little bit of dimension to them themselves. So I wanted to make sure that it was nice and flat when I pop it onto my card. For my sentiment, I'm using the Label Love stamp set, and I'm just stamping them with some Obsidian black and then just trimming around them so I have these little sentiment pieces here. Again, I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape behind them just to add them in place. And I do love how bold these look against that beautiful, subtle colour that we have going on with the delicate floral in and out border. So I'm just popping them into place, and here are all the cards completed. So you can see that this one has more colour than the rest of them because we did offset it so the colours were coming out towards the bottom of the card. This one we offset so the colours were going in towards the card panel, and you can see that that's a little more subtle. And this one here is the most subtle of all, and you can see the colour just at the side. It doesn't really show too much when you're looking at it from the front, but when you do turn it to the side, you can see all those beautiful purples all feathered out from the side, which is very, very pretty. So I really do hope that you've enjoyed the video and that you like the technique. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.
Hello there, crafty friend, Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques, and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Altenew YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.